From the weather team you can trust, here's Chief Meteorologist Eric Sneidel.
Carrying the lead in that is the fact that there is an awning. There is a roof over the head of those food trucks tomorrow. So should you choose to head that way, you can end up not running into our realities of a very wet Wednesday headed our way. Right now, we've got a lot of bright moonlight. We're just a couple of evenings away from our first full moon of the month of, technically it'll be May when it's actually full out of this toward the end of the week. But the fact that moonlight is nice and bright, it's illuminating enough of that sky to allow us to see it's becoming more cloudy at this hour. That makes sense, knowing where tomorrow's going to go. 56, your current temp. Wind out of the south-southwest at 10 miles per hour. The south component will keep us nice and mild. The number at only 9 miles an hour is much lower than what it was yesterday. It's not going to be nearly as overall windy of a night. It was noticeable. Even my place was kind of rocking back and forth all the way into the morning. Lots of birds, but that's all we've got. Farther off to the south, very little in the way of any echoes of wet weather. This is our developing area of low pressure right now. A lot of showers, a lot of thunderstorms, but still a lot of distance between us and that rain. The energy is going to slide pretty much right overhead tomorrow, but the fact that we've got a bit more time here is what's going to buy us a morning that is doable to get outside and not have to worry about getting soaking wet. I'm not telling you it's going to be a pleasant morning necessarily. Think temperatures stuck in the 50s. By lunchtime, by the early afternoon, here comes the arrival of our downpours. There's a few things with this as the surface low kind of tracks, not quite to Rochester, but just off to the south. What we'll end up getting out of this is a corridor of instability that kind of gets pinched off here in parts of the southern tier. They're going to get a few thunderstorms out of that. What the storms will then do is curl northward into the more stable air and then sort of rain themselves out. And what we often see with radar presentation with this is very heavy rain that ends up developing, not just like with a thunderstorm for, 10, 15, 20 minutes, but it lasts a few hours until the boundary comes by. That to me is going to be more the critical component of, I'm a buyer in the overall idea that we could pick up locally an inch of fresh rainfall out of this. Thursday's another different day. We trend drier overall, tiny chance of rain, think 30%, nothing big there. And then we'll worry about temperatures beginning Friday morning. Latest rainfall amounts out of this, the narrow axis of heaviest downpours, which will favor Rochester, 390 and points eastward, will feature a few spots that get an inch or more of rain. On the west side, your totals will be throttled more, maybe a quarter to a half an inch. We've already had a lot of rain. We're going all the way back to the start of March here. Between March and April, we have had 9.34 inches of rain, and we're almost knocking on the door now of number 2 in Rochester's recorded history. That goes back to the late 1800s. We're going to beat this tomorrow. There is no way we don't beat it. We don't get there, but we're going to get there. That means this will have been our wettest March and April in Rochester in about 150 years. Yeah, you better believe it's been wet around here. Mention the frost and freeze potential here Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and then it starts to back off a bit by Monday morning. But if you're somebody with tender plants, you're going to have to take some precautions out of this. This is still not unusual. Each of those little snowflakes on the timeline represents the final freeze date since 2000, and we're still middle of the road with that. This is definitely not anything unprecedented to have a weekend still dropping close to 50 or 32.